denizens of the night. Welcome to another episode of the macabre, the terrifying. Broadcasting live from the deepest part of a Chuck E. Cheese ball pit, I will be your guide through the witching hours. Tonight, I have a special treat for you. Long-time listeners will know that the earliest stories featured on this channel were supplied to us by S.C. Mendes, who is an author and the owner of Bloodbound Books. He has sent over to me a fantastic short story, narrated by Daisy Morgan, called Into the Pit. Allow me to set the scene. Something's afoot at Hungry Heifers. Customers are acting strange, employees are going missing, and 17-year-old Kelly isn't sure if she'll survive her first summer job. When a stranger reveals the disturbing behavior is being caused by a satanic ball pit, Kelly may be the only one who can save the day. Before Daisy takes over, I want to let you know that there's one scene in the middle that might be too spicy for YouTube. I'll pop back in and summarize it during the cut. You can find the unedited version, along with tons more stories, in the links below. Without further ado, here is Into the Pit, which was written by Nikki Noir and S.C. Mendes, and was narrated by Daisy Morgan.
How often do you wash the balls? Huh? Kelly broke from her daze of wiping down the tables. The balls. In the pit? The man gestured to the enclosed playground attached to Hungry Heifer's dining room. I'm asking how often you sanitize the equipment. Kelly burned with embarrassment. She'd been zoning out more and more during her shifts. Back off, Chester. Her coworker Renee joined them at the table. Chester. My name is Don Wilcox. I'm with the Department of Health. He pointed to an embroidered logo on his shirt, his name in cursive below. Not impressed, Renee said. I've got a shirt claiming I'm FBI. Kelly cringed. Why did Renee always have to swoop in and help her? Is there a manager I can speak with? I have some questions about recent activity. Everything all right? Rudy stepped in, smiling. Kelly knew he was fuming, though. This guy says he's with Department of Health, Renee sneered. But I doubt it. Second pedo this week if you ask me. Renee, that's quite uncalled for. Rudy turned to the DOH worker. Sir, I can assist you. Thanks. The man extended a hand. Don Wilcox. Just had some questions about the ball pit. Of course, Rudy said. Let's have a seat in my office. Happy to answer anything you need. Rudy glared at Renee before they departed. Renee rolled her eyes. You didn't have to do that, Kelly said once the men were gone. I can handle myself. You never do. He wasn't being rude. How often do you wash balls? Please. You need to grow up and see the world for what it is. I'm sure he said something before that. I was just lost in my head. I know a perv when I see one. Same as last week. Remember the creep staring at the ball pit for like 30 minutes while kids played? Wasn't even eating. Kelly nodded. That guy was weird, and Renee had railed into him too. It's a sad fact, but when you work at a fast food joint with a playground, you get pedos. Like flies on shit. Kelly cringed. They headed toward the kitchen, and Kelly hoped none of the customers in earshot would complain about her to Rudy. Kelly always managed to get dragged into Renee's messes. Dwayne's one too. You know that, right? She was referring to the night manager. They flocked to you because you're a cute kid. Thanks, I guess. Kelly agreed Dwayne was a creep, but she hated being referred to as a kid. Just because Renee was savage with drugs and sex at 19, she was only 2 years older than Kelly. Don't thank me. Just find your voice. Men are going to step all over you if you don't get a spine, she said. And keep away from Dwayne. Kelly thought of Renee's boyfriend Mike, but held her tongue. Mike was at least 21 because he had bought Renee alcohol before. Kelly also knew about the blowjob Renee had given him out by the dumpsters. How grown up and romantic? Not. Kelly was collecting trays from the outside tables when the Department of Health guy emerged from the front entrance. He gave a slight wave. "Sorry if I made you uncomfortable earlier. That was not my intention." "It's okay," Kelly said. "I've been zoning out a lot lately, I guess." "Does that happen often while you're looking at the playground?" Kelly shrugged. "I don't really keep track." An awkward gap spread between them, and Kelly felt like there was more the guy wanted to say. Maybe Renee was right. "Here's my card," he finally said. "There's been a lot of issues with playground equipment recently. If you experience anything strange, please let me know." Strange? Not wanting to be rude, Kelly took the card and shoved it in her pocket. "About the playground equipment." "Oh, just anything out of the ordinary." Like a guy watching the ball pit 2 nights in a row, Kelly thought. "Sure. Okay. Thanks." Don smiled and left. "I'm tired of this crap, Renee." It was the same thing Rudy said every few weeks since Kelly had started her summer job at Hungry Heifer. And like always, Renee listened with a blank expression, nodded, and mumbled she understood, and once Rudy turned to leave, she flicked him off. Also like clockwork was her boyfriend, arriving 30 minutes after Rudy left for the night. Kelly was at the register when Mike sauntered up, smelling like beer. "Hey, Kel." "Hi." With his slicked back, rockabilly hair and dickies, he was hot, but his attitude? Yuck. Just like Renee, the IDGAF vibe was an acceptable trait in friends, but not boyfriends. "Let me get a number 5, he said. "Sure. What size drink?" "Extra large." He lifted his shades to his head, fixing her with dark eyes. Kelly tapped the screen, ignoring his suggestive tone. Everyone's a creep, she thought. Renee approached them from the playground, her eyes wide and glossy like an anime character. "Hey, babe." She slapped Mike's ass with a giggle. "I'll run back and get your food." Kelly burned with embarrassment. Renee returned with his meal. Mike slid the tray down the counter to the closed register and started eating while Renee shared the DOH ball washing story, pausing whenever a customer approached. Kelly remained at the register, her mind half listening, vacillating between Don and the ball pit. "Department of Health, huh?" Mike's face lit up. "Want to create a biohazard in the pit tonight?" "Guys," Kelly snapped back to reality. "The customers?" "Relax," Mike said. "There's like 1 customer left in the whole place. No one can hear us but you." "Fucking on the playground?" Renee said. Now that would really piss Rudy off. "I cannot believe what I'm hearing." "Then plug those virgin ears," Mike said. Renee giggled. "Really? After all this chomo stuff, you're gonna do it in the pit?" "It'll be after hours, Kelly. No kids watching." Renee grinned. "Unless you'd like to watch us." "Ew, are you drunk?" "Well, if you change your mind," Renee winked. She turned to Mike. "See you in a bit, lover boy." Then she sauntered to the kitchen. What in the hell is wrong with her tonight? "I don't know, but I like it," Mike said. "Relax, she's just being silly. I'll hide in the pit until everyone leaves, but we'll do it on the counter break room." That doesn't make me feel better. Kelly pulled her hands from the counter. Everything felt dirty. This was a new low, even for Renee and Mike, and Kelly couldn't wait to leave. 10 more minutes, and she was 1 shift closer to summer's end. "Mike!" Renee stepped onto the playground, its equipment lit only by a few overnight lights. "You in there?" After hearing nothing, she moved towards the ball pit. "Seriously, if you scare me, you can forget about my pussy."
Oh dear! It seems Mike and Renee are about to get spicy in the ball pit. To keep us YouTube safe, let's just say that neither one of them make it out. Here is what happens to Renee.
a wide mouth of sharp teeth open to greet Renee. Her body seized with pain and was swallowed up in a frothing sea of balls and blood. The following day, Rudy was racing around the kitchen when Kelly clocked in for her shift. Talking faster than a meth head, he bounced from station to station, attempting to help the overwhelmed staff, but succeeding only in pissing everyone off. "Thank God you're here," Rudy said. "You're on drive-thru. Oh, and if you have any influence over your feisty friend, tell her to get her butt down here. No call, no show during a lunch rush. I could fire her for that." Renee? Who else? Rudy handed her the headset and hustled toward the deep fryer. Before she turned on the mic, Kelly texted Renee asking where she was. No response came. Neither did Renee. The following day, the police arrived with questions. "You're friends with Renee Tram?" Kelly and the detective were sitting in Rudy's office. The officer, whose name she'd already forgotten in the shock, asked if she wanted her parents present when they spoke. He explained she had the right as a minor, but really, he just wanted to ask a few questions about Renee. Kelly had agreed. Anytime she could avoid involving her parents, she would. "We're work friends, only," Kelly said. "We chill at Heifers, but I've never gotten together with her outside of work." "Any ideas where she might have gone?" "Did you ask her boyfriend?" "We can't locate him either. They wouldn't have run off together? An elopement, perhaps." "What's that?" "Getting married in secret." "They never talked about it with me. They were happy together, though." "Let's make Biohazard in the ball pit," Kelly remembered. "Yeah, they seemed happy. How about customers? Did Renee have any problems with customers?" "I don't think so. There was probably an unending list of customers who were offended by the crap Renee said. Her lip and nose piercings and who knew what else. But none of them would kidnap her, hurt her." "Kelly, I'm not here to get you or Renee in trouble, I promise," the detective said. "Her parents are worried. They just want to know she's safe. I need any details that may help locate her." It was difficult to imagine a girl like Renee having parents. "Well, Renee can be in your face sometimes." "Can you give an example?" "Like 2 weeks ago, some older guy was sitting by the playground, and Renee called him up. She told him to leave." "You don't feel comfortable saying the name she called him?" "She called him a chomo or something, maybe a Chester," Kelly muttered, unable to look at the cop. "Why do you think she called him that?" "'Cause he wasn't eating anything, just staring at the playground." The officer made some notes. "What happened after that?" "The guy left." "That's all?" "Well, the customer came back the next day. Renee wasn't here that night." Then she quickly added, "But this time he ate something." "Was he still staring at the playground?" "Yeah, I guess he was." "Did you say anything to him?" Kelly shook her head no. "Anyone else talk with him in any capacity?" "I don't think so. When we started to close, he was just gone." A scream erupted from the dining room, and Kelly jumped in her seat. The detective was up and opening the office door when a second scream rang out. The detective rushed into the commotion coming from the restaurant. A female voice rose above the rest. "Jesse, where's my son?" Cries from the hysterical woman rooted Kelly to the chair, watching the open doorway. She imagined monsters bursting into the office. Kelly was unsure how much time passed while she was lost in her mental thoughts. Eventually, Rudy found her and explained that everyone was being sent home for the day. The police were on their way back to the Hungry Heifer. "It's only 2 more weeks," her father reminded Kelly when he dropped her off for Friday's shift. Kelly hadn't told him about Renee's disappearance, or Jesse, the 5-year-old who went missing yesterday, but her face must have been troubled. "I know," Kelly said, getting out of the car. She wasn't worried about something bad happening to her. Renee had probably run off with Mike, and the poor kid Jesse was only 5. He could have left with a stranger. It was tragic, but it wasn't like Kelly was going to get in a van with free candy on the side. She dreaded having to deal with Rudy more than anything else. Each day, he was more tense. Inside Hungry Heifer, a sign taped on the playground door read, "Closed for cleaning." Through the glass door, Kelly could see the pit had been drained and all the multicolored balls were secured in large bags and placed in the corner of the play area. I overheard the security footage was weird. Lots of static. Even so, the kid just disappears. Duncan cut into her thoughts as he loaded the dishwasher. He steps into the ball pit, and then poof. Nothing. That's terrible, Kelly said. Is that why they emptied the balls? Yup. They didn't find the kid. Just some satanic symbol. Dig it. Duncan wiped his hands on his apron and pulled out a cell phone. I snuck in and took a pic this morning. The picture showed the bottom of the empty ball pit where a red design had been painted. It wasn't an upside-down pentagram or 3 6s, which was what Kelly expected to see when Duncan said satanic. Instead, it was a circle with an intricate design inside. A point connected to lines and curves. What is it? A cult thing. Duncan put the phone away. Like how gangs mark their territories with tags? This is tagging for satanic gangs. See it in movies all the time. Kelly swallowed hard. Did you tell the police? That it's satanic? He laughed and returned to spraying down trays. I'm sure the cops know all about cults. Relax, Kelly told herself. Duncan was an idiot who smoked weed all day and washed dishes. What did he know? He could have made the picture in Photoshop to mess with her. Still, she was glad to be on drive-thru today. Anything to keep her away from the dining room and the playground, just in case. 2 hours into her shift, a familiar face pulled up to the drive-thru window. We need to talk. You again? Don Wilcox. Yes, I know what's happening. Let me get Rudy to help you. No. Don shook his head. That won't work. I need your help. His bag of food trembled in Kelly's hand. I don't have anything to do with the health stuff. Never mind that. I'm talking about your coworker and the young boy who disappeared. I know what happened. Maybe you should talk to the police. They won't believe me. Don glanced at the rearview mirror at the line of cars. Please, 5 minutes of your time. Why would I believe you if the cops won't? I saw the crew emptying the ball pit and searching the playground for clues. I'm guessing they found something like this, perhaps. Don held up a sketch that was nearly identical to what she had seen on Duncan's phone. Something evil is happening at Hungry Heifer, and the police simply don't understand. It's a satanic cult, Kelly remembered Duncan saying. I really don't want to get involved. Kelly looked down at the bag and thrust it out the window. Here's your food. 5 minutes, he said, taking the bag. Please. We can talk in public, right on the front patio. A car honked. You're gonna get me in trouble. This could save your life. My life? Her heart thrashed. Renee was right. Kelly didn't have a spine. She should tell Don off. Should walk. But what if something evil is happening? She thought to herself. Please, you could be in danger. What would Renee do? What would an adult do? Kelly thought. Fine. I take my break in 30. But you only get 5 minutes, she said. Right in front. And if I don't come back, Rudy calls the cops. Agreed. Dawn was sitting outside at the patio table when Kelly came out of the restaurant. She took a deep breath and reminded herself that she was just as tough as Renee. 5 minutes ain't long, she said, proud to have the guts to be blunt. Yes, now let's see. How to best explain this? Are you able to sense the energy of certain places? Like the awe of a beautiful landscape at dawn, the churning energy of an audience at a rock concert, the vibes of people to lift you up or bring you down? I guess so. There's vibration to everything in the universe. Even intangible objects such as thoughts and feelings have their own unique vibrations. Feelings of confidence vibrate at much different rates than vibrations of insecurity and fear. The human heart generates an electromagnetic field encompassing the human body. This field takes on the vibration of the thoughts and feelings of the individual. This is why being around certain people and places make you feel great, while others make you feel miserable. The Earth has an electromagnetic field too. Ley lines transmit the energy. Ley lines? What are you talking about? Think of them as power lines forming a grid across planet Earth. If you don't believe me, please look them up. No time to explain in depth. I'm down to 4 minutes. Now, the places where these lines crisscross each other are sites of immense energetic power. Think of it like synergy. Strange, unexplained phenomena occur where these metaphysical lines intersect. Mount Shasta with its UFO sightings, the deadly Bermuda Triangle, the magnificent Pyramid of Giza, all examples of these intersections. I think I better go. 3 minutes, please. Heifers is built on a set of minor ley lines. More specifically, the playground is the exact point of convergence. David opened the folder he'd kept the sketch in and produced a photo. Have you seen this man before? Kelly had every intention of walking away until she saw the face in the picture. It was the pedo who had watched the ball pit 2 nights in a row. You've seen him, yes? Once or twice. Oh God, could Duncan be right? She thought. Is he a Satanist? A Satanist? Don's brow furrowed. I wish. Members of the Satanic Temple don't believe in the devil, God, or anything supernatural. This man, on the other hand, is a dark magician and has manipulated the power of the ley lines here to call forth an evil entity. Unless you help me close the doorway he opened, more people are going to die. Kelly's head was hot and fuzzy. Were Renee and Mike and that poor 5-year-old really dead? Can't the Department of Health help you? Don laughed. They wouldn't have the first clue of what to do with this. And truthfully, I'm sorry, but the health department story was a cover. I had to speak to the manager. I've been studying Hungry Heifer for a while. Don pointed to the photograph. So has this dark magician, whoever he is. So, you believe a dark wizard conjured a demon in our ball pit, and it's responsible for the recent problems. I know how crazy this sounds, but just get me inside after everyone leaves. I can perform a ritual to close the gateway. A ritual? No flippin' way am I. Please. The symbol drawn on the bottom of the ball pit is the sigil of Atasea, devourer of flesh. He is a demonic god who will feed on more poor souls until his essence gains enough strength to take a physical form. Once that happens, he will move from the astral realm and exist fully in our world. No. Kelly got to her feet, shaking her head. Please. You complained of zoning out. I'm sure your coworker was experiencing her own emotional influences. That's the hypnotizing power of Atasea. After consuming these 3 souls, he will be stronger, and that hypnotizing effect will grow to influence all in its vicinity. The weak will be especially vulnerable to possession in his influence. I wish I could help. Please. Really, I can't. Kelly turned fast and rushed back inside. Here's what I don't get, Duncan said after Kelly shared Don's story. Why would someone summon a demon god, or Cthulhu kind of creature? These gods' goals is always to kill and enslave humanity, destroy worlds, right? I think you're missing the point, Kelly said. They were inside the walk-in freezer so Duncan could hit his vape, but now he was on a stoner tangent and Kelly was getting cold. Hear me out. Villains are always doing this kind of shit in movies. They make a pact with a demon force bent on destroying the world. For what? Do they think the destroyer god will kill everyone but them? And even if they did, what's the point of being the last human on Earth? There's no one to rule over then. It makes no sense. I can't tell if you're kidding or not. I can't either. Duncan laughed and blew out a THC vape in the freezer. What the hell, Duncan? I came to you for advice. In that case, I say help the guy. If it's true, how can it be true? And if it were, didn't you just say summoning destroyer gods or whatever makes no sense? Yeah, but people do all sorts of shit that doesn't make sense. What does he want you to do anyway? Let him in after hours to close the portal? Duncan snorted. I bet he wants to open your portal. Gross. He's like 40-something. You're the one not making sense, Duncan. First you say it's a satanic cult, then I tell you some guy agrees with you, sort of, and you go on changing your mind. Fuck off. Duncan's jaw dropped and even Kelly couldn't believe she cursed. He burst out laughing. That was awesome. You never say shit like that. I love it. Ugh. She pushed open the door and stormed back into the kitchen, his stone laughter following her. As she walked back toward the front, a coworker at the register named Steven said, "Kelly, come here." "What now?" "Yeah? Look at the guy at table 3. "Okay." "See all the food on his plate?" Steven asked. "That's his 5th order. Watch him eat." The man's head hung low, and his shoulders hitched. If he was crying, it didn't stop him from shoveling food into his mouth. Ketchup and mustard dripped from greasy lips. Masticated fries spilled from his mouth when he opened for another bite of burger. Slurping soda assisted the giant bolus, which distended his throat as it traveled to his stomach. When nothing but empty wrappers remained, the man slowly rose to his feet. A pained expression filled his face before he bent forward and released a loud fart. He belched, then took a minute to compose himself. Soon the whole restaurant watched his painful progress towards the register. Kelly and Steven stepped back as the man laid his elbows on the countertop, resting his shaking, sweaty body. He looked at Steven with tears in his eyes. "More. I need more." What can I get you, sir?" Steven asked. He clutched his chest and fell over backwards. "Are you kidding me? 2 days ago, a kid goes missing, and now we got a guy overdosing on hamburger patties?" After the ambulance left, Rudy brought Steven and Kelly into his office, even though Kelly hadn't done anything except be standing next to Steven when it happened. Same as with Renee. "Why the hell didn't you cut him off?" "I don't know," Steven said. "He wasn't doing anything wrong. How do I not serve?" "He ate," Rudy looked at the receipt, 20 hamburgers. Customers said he was talking to himself and crying. "He could have been a little high," Steven said. "Case of the munchies is all." "Well, now he could be a little dead. Jesus Christ." Rudy took a deep breath and looked at the floor. "I'm doomed. There's no coming back from this." "Strange phenomena happen where ley lines intersect. Everyone will be at risk as the power grows." Was this what Don was talking about? When he finished his tirade, Rudy left Wayne in charge and said Steven and Kelly could have the rest of their shift off. He then informed the remaining staff the store would close early tonight, 8 p.m. Kelly had no desire to work with Dwayne, but she didn't really want to go home either. Instead, she took a seat on the patio and thought about the strange incidents. 4 people in only a few days. She did feel odd about the playground, but did that prove Don's claims? "I saw the ambulance." Don's voice broke her thoughts. "You again?" "What happened this time?" he asked, keeping his distance from her spot. "Guy ate too many hamburgers. Had a heart attack or burst his stomach, I don't know." "How many hamburgers?" She shrugged. 20? And some fries, I guess. "A man eats 20 burgers in a single sitting, and still you don't believe me." "This is Atasea's doing. That man was possessed, forced to eat." "Okay," she said, thinking of Duncan. "Let's say I believe you. Why would someone want to summon this Atasea demon to destroy the world?" "I never said it would destroy the world." "Oh." Kelly felt stupid listening to Duncan the pothead. Clearly, this dark magician, whoever he is, made a pact with the entity. He's getting something in return, but nobody except Atasea and the summoner would know the terms of the agreement. Unless the portal is closed, more pain and death will befall this place. "I think I'm quitting in the morning." "That won't help the next young lady who works here, or anyone who dines at this establishment." "Let's say I believe you. What could I possibly do to stop a demon?" "I can shut the doorway. I just need one night inside. Please help me get in." "You really can't go to the cops?" "They'd believe me even less than you. Only youth and those with open minds can see the truth." "Yeah, well, they don't give store keys to youths." "Could we get them somehow?" 4 people possibly dead, and it is up to Kelly to stop the madness. Maybe, but I'd really be putting myself out there. Is there any way to make it work? She thought about Dwayne. She could get the keys from him, but to do so, she'd need a cover story. Total pedocal. Stay away from him, she remembered. You had better be right about this demon, Kelly said, then shared her idea. Hi, Dwayne. Kelly stood in the doorway to the office and mustered all the courage she had. Do you think we could talk tonight? You know, after you close up? Dwayne turned, giving her his full attention. Of course. Is something wrong? A lot has been going on, and I could really use someone to talk to. You know, about private stuff. Dwayne was out of his chair, sympathy on his face. Of course. He put a hand on her shoulder and she felt sick. There's no one else who can help. When Kelly saw the excitement under his faux concern, it got easier to lie. No, I need someone like you. Someone with experience. I can trust you, right? Of course. I'm here to help my coworkers. I'll do whatever you need. Just say the word. Can we talk tonight? Every word was a struggle to get past her lips. Once everyone is gone and you close up. Of course. You feel more comfortable if we're alone? I do. I think we need to be alone for this. It took extra effort to keep the bile from rising into her throat. God, Don had better be right about all this demon stuff. Of course. I can't wait. To help you, that is. How about I meet you out front at 8:15 p.m.? We're closing early, as you know. Once everyone is gone, you and I can head back inside. Perfect. Kelly didn't bother going home. She texted her parents she was going to her friend Tara's house after work. Their only response was to let them know when she arrived safely. Then Kelly walked around the strip mall near Hungry Heifer and played on her phone, trying not to worry. There was a plan, but no guarantee it would work. Kelly was back by 8 o'clock, but didn't see any sign of Dawn in the parking lot. The summer sun was fading, and her confidence was slowly departing with it. Dwayne came out 5 minutes early. You're here? He sounded surprised. She forced a smile. Yep. Really need that talk. I understand. Glad you didn't change your mind. I think I can help. He gestured to the door. Shall we? Yes. Kelly gave a quick glance around. Where was Don? She thought. Dwayne led her to the door, then paused. Did you see a guy all in black leave the store? No. Dwayne looked around. Strange. I thought I saw someone inside, but then he was gone. Please let it have been Don, Kelly thought. Dwayne shrugged and took hold of the handle, holding the door open. After you? Kelly's body pumped adrenaline like never before. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, she thought. What had she gotten herself into? Each step was like lifting concrete shoes. And when she had to turn her back to him and walk inside, it took all her strength. As she passed by him, breath held, he grunted. Oof. Kelly jumped at the crack of something heavy, and Dwayne fell on the entryway behind her. Inside, inside, a voice said. She recognized it as Don's and breathed a sigh of relief. They dragged the unconscious manager into the store and closed the door. The relief was short-lived. As she looked at Dwayne unconscious on the floor, the seriousness set in. Oh God, what have I done? It's okay. You can leave. I'll handle everything. Thank you for your help, Kelly. You've done a great service for humanity. She watched Don walk toward the caution tape and into the playground area, noticing he wore a white robe with a purple sash. Don stood in front of the ball pit. He could feel the wrongness in the air. It crackled with malicious intent. He closed his eyes and began meditative breathing. Producing a small dagger from within his robe, he traced the first pentagram. Once it was charged, he turned to the south and repeated the process. As I live and breathe, a white Wizard. Don's eyes shot open and he turned. Behind him was the man in black. You monster! This ends tonight! For you it does. The unknown figure raised a gun. Magic is fun, but bullets are so much quicker. The smashing glass and sizzling flesh was barely audible over a feminine scream. Kelly jumped backward after striking the dark magician, screaming and letting the shattered coffee pot handle drop from her hand. Don lunged forward, grabbed the weapon, and struck the dark magician with the gun butt several times. When it was clear the man was out for the count, Don looked up. Kelly, you came back. Kelly rested against the glass door of the enclosed playground, breathing hard. Dwayne, he mentioned some guy in black. That Chomo, magician, whatever. He always wore black when he was here. I realized it was him just before I went to leave. Thank you, Don said. You saved me. Saved this neighborhood. I am in your debt. I can't believe it's real. It's real, all right. What do we do now? She asked. We tied them both up and closed the portal. The next morning, after all the excitement, Kelly had gotten maybe 2 hours of sleep. But that didn't stop her from getting to Hungry Heifer as early as she could. She wasn't surprised to see police inside and the morning shift, including Duncan, standing outside the front door gossiping. What's up? Kelly asked. Rudy came in this morning and found Dwayne and some stranger tied up and gagged. It's so wild. Kelly couldn't suppress her smile. Oh yeah? Yeah. And whoever did it stapled a note to them. Dwayne says, get this, I'm a pedophile. Duncan burst out laughing. What did the other guy say? I'm a black magician who manipulates people's mind. Something must have clicked in his perma-stone brain. Holy shit. Is that the satanic guy who wanted your help? I doubt it, Kelly said with a slight grin. Duncan's jaw dropped. Rudy pushed the front door open, came outside, and looked at the employees. We're living in the Twilight Zone, people. The security footage is a garbled mess from last night. Does anyone know what the hell happened here? No one said a word until Kelly stepped forward. Have you heard of ley lines, sir? Ley lines? What the hell is a ley line? Never mind. Kelly smiled. I have a feeling things are going to start getting better around here.
Don't act like you haven't thought about it too. What if there was something evil with you in the ball pit? It's the same experience as when you stand in water but can't see below the surface. As I was listening to this story, I couldn't help but think of it as a fun genre mashup of retail comedies like Clerks and Waiting, and an 80s B-horror movie. Mix in some black magic and portals to hell, and you've got the recipe for something awesome. A special thank you to S.C. Mendes and Nikki Noir for sharing this story with us, and to our guest narrator, Daisy Morgan, for giving it life. If you'd like to check out more from the authors or the narrator, check out the links in the description. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to hear more stories like this one. Whatever you do, exchange all your tickets for an inflatable baseball bat before you wade into the ball pit. And don't fall asleep.